Hello, everybody. It's Steve Hobo with Wood, and welcome to another Hangin with Hobo live Saturday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I remembered to set it up correctly. I got the black frame going. I got your comments turned on there. So I think I got everything done right this time. I'll get back into the habit of all these things very, very soon. I hate that I got out of the habit of all the stuff just with everything going on in the holiday season and with the website, and hallelujah, I got that finished. I think I did put up a very short video yesterday. I think it was yesterday. That the website is live. I was going to post on Patreon, but so many of the patrons have told me that now that they canceled their monthly, so they weren't, being billed, they couldn't even see the account anymore. So, too many of the patrons that needed to see it weren't going to see it by pasting it or posting it in Patreon. So I said, well, where's the one area that everybody can see it? YouTube. And guess what? Everybody, not everybody, because there's people asking me in here tonight, is the site going? Yes, site's going. And I shared a link and instructions in that short video on how to sign up. When you go to the website, there are 4 options to sign up. And this is for John Q. Public and Jane Q. Public. You can sign up as a free membership. It doesn't cost you a thing. You need to sign up so that you can log into the website and be able to download different things, buy the files, and by creating a free membership and creating a profile on the website, as you buy your files, it will be stored in a library. Now, unfortunately, in order for me to clean up everything that was on there in the old website that had been corrupted by all the bots and all the fake accounts, I had to delete everything prior. It was too much work to try and weed out the bad. It was too much bad. So any of your previous downloads, if you were counting on the ability to go in and pull them off the website from your account, don't do that. When you download them, you need to save them on your end, because when my website does go down, or if it goes down, or if I'm dead and gone and the website's gone too, you don't want to not have ability all those files that you bought and or downloaded. So download them, save them. But because you've created an account on the profile, even if it's a free one, or on the website, even if it's a free one, you will be able to go back and download those files that you've already bought and downloaded, whether you did it 100% cost or you got them 100% free. There are 3 options for paid memberships on the website. Those are 3-tiered: gold, silver, and bronze, and it's $10, $20, and $30. That's for John Q and Jane Q Public. For patrons, and I put this in the video description, and I mentioned it in the video that's down below in the description. There's a link for existing patrons. For existing patrons to use that link to go in and sign up for a free membership that's going to be a prepaid Patreon account. And that account specifically will give all of those former patrons access to the entire website, including what will be the members only page, which is going to be a page that I like what I used to do on Patreon. All the posts that went on Patreon and the videos and the downloads and all of that content's going to now be on the members only page on the website. And right now, anyone who signed up with that Patreon free website, prepaid Patreon, they're going to have access to everything. And I'm going to say 90% of the people watching or watch that video, Patreon or not, or patron or not, they went and signed up as a prepaid patron. So I did that because that was the easiest way it was going to be for me. I got to take my jacket off. To implement all the benefits for patrons and for patrons who paid, for yearly and they've got 6 months or 8 months or even a year left on their patron account. Because Patreon has limited my ability to do things. I can see everything, but my ability to sort and send out specific information to specific people, some of that's been limited. So what I've done, as a patron has signed up and they've communicated to me that, hey, I've signed up, I look in at my database and see, okay, well, they paid for January and they paid for last December. Okay, well, what I've decided to do for everyone, including the cheaters and the fibbers who have used that link to sign up for a free Patreon prepaid account, everyone will have access to everything until April 1st, April Fool's Day. No one, and none of the previous patrons are going to need to sign up for a paid membership on this account or on this website until April the 1st. Now, come April the 1st, I'm going to be getting rid of 98% of those prepaid patron memberships. There's going to be a few out there who had the annual paid that's not going to expire until November 2026. They will still have that and they'll still be using that. Everybody else is going to gone. And then for the honest to goodness patrons who had paid before, and if you were a gold patron at $20 a month and you want to keep that level, then I will send you a very special unpublished link that you should not be sharing with anybody that will allow you to sign up as the member that, well, I'll even do this. If you were a silver or a bronze and you want to step up to the gold, because you were a previous paying patron, I will allow you to sign up as gold at $20. Okay. I think that's more than fair. You were a previous supporter. I'll let you step up and upgrade to gold tier at 20 because you have been there and you have supported me. For the folks who tried to pull a fast one, who were not patrons, maybe they were patrons for 2 months out of last year. And then they seen this opportunity, say, you know what, I'm going to sign up and be a patron. I can be, and actually, after I've told everybody, quit doing Patreon. Don't sign up on Patreon at all. I've had people signing up this week. I've had dozens of people signing up on Patreon so that they could claim that they were previous Patreon so that they could get the old billing. I wasn't even born at night. Especially wasn't last night. All that was deleted, done. I refunded those purchases. I ain't playing those games. So previous patrons will have the opportunity to either renew at their current level or upgrade to an upgrade. If they're bronze, they can go to silver or gold, and for silver, they can go to gold if they want. But that will require a very special link that I will send you that will allow you to sign up at that grandfathered pricing. And as long as you keep it current, you can sign up as monthly or annual, totally up to you. And as long as that account is current, you will maintain that same pricing. It will not go up on you. If it gets suspended or canceled, in order to renew, you'll have to come back in at the new price tiers. It's going to be a little bit of a mess for me because I've got hundreds of you guys signing up daily, and 90% of them are not true previous patrons, and I've got to weed all that out. But this was the easiest way for me to do it for the true patrons. I would rather be burdened with some headache than to have my patrons handicapped in any way. So, and at this point, everyone should have canceled their Patreon support. I was asked about how do I do that? Well, I can't see your side of Patreon, so I don't know what that looks like. But logic tells me that if you sign in to Patreon and go to your membership tab, there should be a button that tells you to cancel or to stop your payments. But everyone, 100% of everyone who has been a patron, you need to go and stop your patron or your Patreon contributions at this time. Everything's live now on the site, and quit Patreon. I'm gonna roll up here and look and see if there's any questions and comments about this, or if anybody's got any questions. Let's clear those up now at the beginning of this stream, because I have got a lot of design stuff to go over tonight, and this has been filling my inbox for the last 2 days with lots of questions, and I want to get this, get it out there and get it cleared up as quick as possible. Let's see here. And Rusty Nelson, I'm assuming you didn't, and I did not put anything on Patreon for the reason that I stated. Not everybody was going to see it. There was more people that weren't going to see it than they were. So I put that video out there on YouTube, knowing that it was going to do what it did. It caused a lot of people to sign up that really weren't needing to. That's okay, because, and I'm not even upset about it, because I screwed up in one of my Patreon only live streams and made it available to everybody to see. And because of that screw up, we all got to meet Melissa. Melissa joined in on that stream, and she become a supporter, and she's a regular contributor here to the channel. And had I not screwed up, we wouldn't have had that opportunity to meet Melissa. So there might be some people who, as I begin to add, right now there's nothing on that members only page because I just launched the website. As I begin to add stuff and people get to see that shouldn't really be seeing it, they might realize, this is worth 10 or 20 or 30 bucks a month. So by giving everyone, including non-patrons, a couple of free months, it might pay off in the long run. We'll see. Let's see here. Now, Carl says it logged in a new site, a short learning curve, but it works. There is a couple of new things, because I've had a few people who've reached out and said, man, I created my account, but I can't get in. Well, part of the reason I did what I did was to stop all of the attacks on the website and stop all the bot attacks. And part of this, I had to do a couple of things security-wise. One that I'm not even going to mention because it's slick. It is super slick, and you'll never see it, but the bots don't either. But one of the things I did was an email verification. So you're going to sign up for your account. If you do the prepaid Patreon or the free membership, whatever, you put in all your information. The only information that should and must be accurate is your email. I don't care what address you put in there. If it requires it, I don't care what you put it, but you have to use an accurate email. Because once you say generate or done or finished, it's going to send you an email asking you to confirm your email. Then once you confirm and verify your email, then your account will be created, and then you should be able to log in and use your information. For the patrons who had a previous coupon code, I was able to keep your coupon code the same. I've had a few requests to change coupon codes. I can do that now because I have control of everything. Before in Patreon, I didn't have 100% control. But now you have an email verification, and there's even a now, and I know some of you are going to hate it, but in that application or that field you fill out for your membership, there's a math captcha in there. You're going to have to do math. It's simple. It's usually like 2 + 4 or 6 + 4 or 2 + 8, something simple. But that's another security feature to trip the bots up. But a lot of the bots now were able to get around that. So I ended up having to introduce a second thing. Well, I had the did the email validation first, then I did the math captcha. That wasn't enough. Then I did a third thing, and the third thing that I'm not going to discuss is what stopped the bots. Let's see here. And Chris says, definitely much better now. I had to flush the cache, then everything worked. So yeah, depending on how your system's set up, yeah, you might need to flush everything out or clear your cache on everything. Some of you guys might not recognize, flush the cache, clear your cache. Site worth the wait. I asked Steve how we pay annual dues. When it's in fact, just for giggles, so you guys can see what I know. Carl's asking about his him paying monthly. So if I go back over, and you guys can't see this, but if I go back over and I look at my database and my information from Patreon, and I look up, and I need to see how he's in here. I'm pretty sure it's in there just like that. So let's do, oh, wrong, got fingers in the right place. Let's see. No. Well, oh, you gotta spell it right, dummy. Golly. Details matter. All right. So if I go and I look, see, payment history, I can see that Carl paid on December the 20th, 2025. He paid for an annual support. So Carl, you are paid up. In fact, what I'm going to be doing for Carl is whenever I go, let me get back over here. I will go over to his coupon code and I will set he is signed up. I hope you're signed up as a prepaid patron. I'll go in and set your coupon code so that it does not expire until January or February of 2027. I'm going to give you a free month or two because that's what I'm doing for everybody. Because let's face it, January and December were a wash with me trying to get all this stuff straightened out. So, Carl, you're not going to need to pay me anything until 2027. And then at that time, if you want to renew and, God's good and kept me here and we're still going, and you want to renew your membership, I can then send you the grandfathered link to sign up as that $20 a month gold patron. But right now, you're good. You're good until 2027. You ain't going to worry about nothing. And when I disable all of those free prepaid patrons, yours ain't going anywhere. Let's see here. And I don't know who. Okay. He also said that I asked Steve how we pay our annual dues or give him money. You don't have to pay anything right now at all, Carl. But for those who aren't aware, on the website at the top of the page, there's a page up there. It says Adopt a Hobo. Adopt a Hobo. And what that has is the PayPal account that goes to the new 501c3, the nonprofit organization, Hands-On Builders Organization, Hobo, Hobo, Hands-On Builders Organization. So the PayPal account goes to Hobo Inc. And there's also an opportunity to send money through Zelle. All that information is on the page for Adopt a Hobo. Let's see here. And I just seen this. This is Steve's bragging. Steve's all the way up in Oregon, but he's up there at the North American Canadian line, and he's bragging that it's a balmy 37 degrees. Well, who on you, buddy? Right now it's 26 degrees and feels like 8 degrees. 26 degrees Fahrenheit currently where I'm at, and it feels like 8 degrees with the wind out there. So shame on you for bragging. All right. Yeah, your gold's good you're good until 2027. I want to get through this. I want to start getting into design work, but I want to get all the questions answered about this, because this was a big deal. This was a huge deal. And it's crucial because this is how I make my living. So I need to make sure everybody understands. a lot of you not going to be building anything for, until April Fool's Day. So the first quarter is going to be kind of a wash for me too, except there's been a few angels who did not need to sign up who have actually signed up. Let's see here. Chris, your secret is safe with me. I won't even put that up there. Steve, is that gray beard or snow? It's all gray, brother. All gray. There we go. And keep in mind, guys and gals, if you got questions like that, do put question marks in front of and it jumps out at me there. Question marks like that and exclamation points like Bob there. So Terry says, do I need to Zelle you the annual? No. You're good. You're good. Nobody's got to worry about anything until April 1st, even if you were doing monthly. And Terry, I thought you and I already discussed when and what yours was doing, but no, you're good right now. And Bob says the site's looking good. Thank you. Andy says, now that your website is up and running, is it time to cancel? Yes, I covered that in my spiel, but yes, everybody should cancel Patreon now. Nobody give Patreon any more money. If you do, I'm still going to get it, but there's no sense in sending them anything. And Chris says, tested and downloaded, but it does not show up in orders list yet. Huh. Okay. Might be something I have to look into. Will we have to do anything to Patreon? Yes, cancel it. Cancel. I am a proud gold monthly member. Cancel Patreon. I am a proud old yearly member here. Now, Bob, you've been a blessing in so many ways. It's not even funny. You and Chuck, and there's many of you. If we weren't Patreon subs, but want to sub on your new site, how do we do it? Went to the site today, but it wasn't obvious. Wasn't obvious? Well, let's go to the site, because I don't understand what wasn't obvious. So if you were not a previous patron, as you say, then if you click right here, membership options, see it changes. I even asked her about making this thing strobe and do, because I knew people were, even though it's a bright red, but that's a clickable button right there, membership options. And once you click on it, you can opt for your free membership, or you can come over here and become your membership support options. This one obviously is free. If you come over here, it'll give you your bronze, silver, and gold annual options and bronze, silver, and gold monthly options. So I'm not real sure, other than maybe the button wasn't flashing at you, but that's all you got to do there. Easy peasy. Old equals gold, but old too. I was able to log into my account, but coupon code not working. All right. Well, Steve, send me a message. Send me an email. Because I am getting, this is no exaggeration, I'm getting 150 to 200 emails, because every time somebody signs up and validates their email, I get an email. Send me an email that, with, all caps, it says coupon not working. I'll see that. I can go in and address it, fix it, easy peasy. And looking for questions and comments. Thanks for the explanation, Steve. I just canceled my good. Everybody cancel Patreon. Everybody cancel Patreon. I meant to cut that off. There we go. Canceled Patreon the other day, created a new account on new site. Very happy to pay the new price. Well, God bless you and thank you. Yeah, and I was telling I went to lunch with family this evening, or dinner with family this evening, and I was telling them, I said, yeah, I said, I've got the best supporters, and some folks that did not need to sign up yet, and they're already signing up for monthly support, and they did not even need to do that, and they're doing it. Led Zeppelin, my caption question was the meaning of life divided by the 15th prime number. Well, if anybody would get that question, it would be you, right? Went to Patreon to cancel, but I'm due for renewal because it said my renewal couldn't go through. Well, just make sure, and just like the people who signed up bogusly, I'm able to hit a button and refund that right back. So, Bob's World, if you get billed for an annual, I can hit a button and refund that right back to you. So if that happens, let me know. Okay. I can't do anything about it if you don't communicate with me. So don't send any donations on YouTube. Absolutely. If you want to do above and beyond, but don't do that yet, because I do have a special request for you guys tonight. So don't do any donations on tonight's stream yet, because I got a special request for the Hobo Nation. I had canceled last month because it would expire around 1/7, but you said not to cancel yet, so I rejoined Patreon, and it's because of that, John, is the reason that I'm letting everyone have February and March free. Because if you paid in January, you were going to be good until February anyway. And I want to give you a free month because of my taking forever to get everything done. So that's why I'm not expecting to bill any patrons until April 1st. So you're going to be good. Everybody's going to be taken care of financially. At least I feel like everybody will be. I feel like what I'm doing is more than fair. Questions and comments. Question. Did not receive the special link. I email you the details on your website. Sign up as free, but gold did not follow. Okay, let's try this again. You're not going to get the special link because you don't need to sign up yet. Let me look and see what you were. just for giggles, so you guys can see. I'm able to keep things organized here. Highway 70. All right, that's not working. Let's see what other name. Where here you are. Let's see. Go over here, here. Do 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 do. And Highway 70. All right, Highway 70. I need to know who you are. I need to know what email you were signed up with on Patreon, because Highway 70 is not pulling me up anything coupon wise or on Patreon. So put exclamation points in your email, and I will tell you where you're at and what you can expect. I tried to cancel Patreon subscription, but it said I'm not subscribed to anyone now. Okay, well then you already canceled. Should be. Ah, okay. That's interesting. So Chris is saying he didn't even see the sign up button until he cleared the cache. So I didn't realize that was a possibility or a problem. So that might be why you didn't see it and why it wasn't obvious. Don't assume things, because when you assume things, I was assuming, hey, there it is, but maybe it wasn't visible to you. Went back in this afternoon and everything worked perfectly. Yay. Nope, got that. And went to Patreon, but didn't see how to cancel. Patreon said your payment to Hobo with Wood didn't go through. I can't see what you guys see on Patreon. I have no control over any of that stuff. That's why I'm getting away from them. Bob's World. Let's see, Bob. Same thing with you, Bob. Bob's World's not enough for me to. I've got so many Bobs. I don't know which Bob your account is. I won't mention all the Bobs because they may or may not want to be recognized, but I need to know which Bob email you are so I can tell you what's going on, at least what I can see. And what I'm going to do, in fact, I'm going to get through this list of questions right now. And then what I'm going to do this week, I just now thought of this. This week, I'll go live Monday or Tuesday during the day. Hopefully, enough of you will be available that can jump in there and we can spend all the time in the world looking and figuring all this out. Because I don't want to spend the entire stream looking at specific accounts, but we'll get everybody straight and everybody will be taken care of and nobody will be out any funds. I promise you. Let's see here. I'm glad to see I am not the only one having trouble with the move, but I'm sure you wouldn't know about trouble. You should have been in my shoes, but I'm sure it'll be worth it. In the end, I followed the instructions, but I'm not sure I followed them correctly. Hi. All right. Okay, David. Okay, let's go over here. Let's go over here. Da, 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 da. There. All right, gotcha. All right, so David, I show you paid as recently as January 21st. And are you showing canceled now? Have you gone in and canceled it? Because I can't remember where we started on yours, Dave or David. But it's there. For example, he paid on January 21st, so he's paid up until February 21st. But I'm going to do an extra month into March, and that's why I won't be expecting to sign him up. No, did not cancel Patreon, so cancel it. Cancel it now. Cancel it before the February renewal, because you don't want to be billed on them again in February. So cancel them, and you're good until February 21st. I'm giving you a free month, which is going to take you to March 21st, and I'm technically not going to be sending out any more information to the patrons about signing up for the grandfather until April the 1st. I wanted to get the page launched, and then we'll muddle through this transition. It's just too many people, and too many people trying to take advantage of the situation. That's really what's making it a real mess. That's okay. I'll weed them out, or I'll win them over. Either way, we'll see. John said just cancel. Good. And thank you for the offer of one free month, but I don't want it. It doesn't matter, Andy. This is the easiest way for me to do this. Everybody's getting it. Okay, well, it says instead I just signed up for the new. Well, God bless you. Thank you, and God bless you. And you're not the only one. There are a few that feel that that 20 was a steal and 30 is well justified, and they've done exactly what you did. So God bless you. All right. And David said just canceled. All right. So moving on. All right. So I will be revisiting this in a live stream that will be just a live stream chat on resolving problems Monday or Tuesday. And maybe I might do it a couple of times in the daytime and the evening. So that it won't be a design video. It'll be let's get this straightened out. Now, today, we're going to look at creating those names and welding images into names. But there's some real stumbling blocks in doing something like that. It seems like it's the simplest thing ever. But if you've tried to do it and you've struggled, I'm going to show you things tonight that you're going to go, hopefully there's some light bulbs going to be going off tonight. The power stays on. Hopefully the power stays on and light bulbs are going to be going off. So we're going to talk about that. And I'm going to talk to you about a few other things of what's coming up also this week. In fact, I got a new product in that they asked me to test, and I've used the product before and I really, really like it, but this is a new product, or at least they got it back in stock again. And this is marking spray for ceramic and glass. And, a lot of you are familiar with the Norton white tile method, where you can take white tile and you use white spray paint and prep it and do all kinds, and you can get some. This is slick. Take a piece of white tile or glass, a mirror. I'm going to do some mirrors this week. And you clean it real good. And then you spray this marking spray on there. It dries in about 5 minutes. You put it on the laser. It does its thing. You wipe it off with a dry cloth. Then you can go rinse it under water, just regular water. It cleans right up. No paint solvent, nothing like that. You got to worry about taking off the paint once you've done. Easy cleanup. That's from Brilliance Ink. Brilliance Ink. I'm going to be doing a video demonstrating this on tile this week and on glass, and probably on like some mugs or some pint glasses, and on mirrors. That'll be this week. And then next Saturday, tentatively next Saturday, I'll have somebody from Brilliance Ink come on to be able to talk about what they will talk about. Some of this stuff is proprietary and they don't want to discuss a whole lot, but this stuff's not marketed to diode lasers, but I'm making it work. And they were happy with what I did last time. And they said, hey, we want you to do that again. And so I've been testing it and getting weird. Oh, here it is. I just moved it in the wrong place, dummy. Oh, no, I didn't. It stuck. Oh, no. Oh, gummit. I got to finish it again. But been doing some testing and getting good results on it. And I got to finish that again. And while we're changing gears, this was posted in the Hobo with Wood Facebook group. Danny Townsend Hohen, or I don't know if I say that right or not, posted up these love crosses. And these I thought were awesome with all the different colors on there. That's the first time I'd seen them done like that. And those turned out really, really good. So I went back and made me another one using my zebra wood and my curly maple. And it turned out really sharp. And I'm going to be putting this on the website for sale. But zebra wood and curly maple, and I'm getting my piano finish on there, really super nice and deep. But I just messed up the back a little bit, and it got stuck to that ceramic tile. But I'll get that finished and get that on the website for sale. First, that'll be my first finished piece that I'm going to be selling. But you know, that was inspired by looking and seeing what Danny did, and I was really blown away by that. And a few of the local folks here say, "Oh, yeah, I love those too. They look really nice." So, thank you for the inspiration, Danny, to bring that bring that arrow out of the quiver and make something again. And Andy says, Danny is my wife, and we both use her Facebook account. Okay, all right. So, did you do those? Did you do them and put them on your wife's account? Those are really, really nice. Those turned out really good. And that is the kind of stuff I want to see posted on the Hobo Facebook group. I want to see your projects. I want to see what you did. I don't care if it's my design or not. I want to see your finished pieces. I don't want to see, and I try not to. I will post, hey, the live stream's coming up, because it is my Facebook group. But I don't want to see videos, and you know, I'm trying to be delicate here, because I'm guilty of what I'm about to talk about. When I left that other group, and I was floundering just a little bit to get my footing again as a solo YouTube personality, I was sharing my information on Clack's Facebook group. And he tolerated it for a little bit. And then he reached out to me and very politely asked me, stop doing that. And I get it. It was his group. And, and sharing a project is one thing, but I was sharing links to my videos in his group. And he's like, okay, enough's enough. Stop that. Share the projects, and I get it. And I respected him for coming out and saying, hey, don't do that. Well, there's a few of you out there that's, and I get it. You're trying to grow your presence, but do it by showing what you've done, and then say, hey, might want to go check out this video, but don't post your videos. I don't want to see posting of videos. Show me your product. Show me what you made. Brag on yourself. Look at what I did. Look at my creations. I want to see them. Impress me. But don't post your videos there. Use your website to do that. All right. Clack is class. Clack's a straight up good guy. Him, Steve, both. I like both of them very much so. I was I thought for a minute I was going to drive down to Texas, and if I did, I was going to surprise Clack and knocking on his door to the Clack Shack. And let's see here. 3 Dogs. I just posted my latest project from Hobo with Wood original design. To refresh. Let's see. Here we go. There's Robert 3 Dogs, and he modified this, and a real simple modification. I had a bunch of fancy ends on the top and the two sides, and he went in and used the node editor to take those off, and that's his version of the file. And that's what I like seeing. Take. I do not license my digital property. I only ask that you don't give it away to people. Take it, modify it, make 100 of them, and sell and make $100 million off of them doing it. I don't care. Just don't share the information for free. That is how I get paid. Nah, he's not black tie class, but he's good old boy class, and that's better than black tie, class any day in my book. All right, so we talked about what's coming. Now I want to show you a real quick on something I did here with this, because I put this together just before going live. Now here's a question for you guys. Southern class, there you go, Carl. This I want anybody to answer this question except Chris. Chris, you're not allowed to answer, because I think Chris will go, I know that answer. So anybody who's not Chris, can you tell me why this happened? I have this design here, and I'm going to get up close and personal so you can see this. And I got different results on the hearts. And I want you to see if you can tell. Well, and I'll explain as I zoom in here to show you. And then I'm going to show you an easier way to do what I did. Some of these hearts turned out much better than the others. Now, it's not because of the coating, but if you notice, if you see the lines in there, all of the lines are rotated with the hearts. And I did that using the scan angle. In order to create those like that, I did, focus. And I'm going to show you the file here. Each one of those hearts that needed to have the scan angle rotated, I put them on different layers. So each one of those were done at a different scan angle. So by doing that, no, it's not line intervals. Why would those produce different outcomes? The line intervals are the same. Power and speed's the same. The coding is not the issue. It's not lines per inch, not line intervals, but there's a reason why changing the scan angle would cause this. What about changing the scan angle would cause a result like that? I'll give you a few more guesses. The dot size on the X and Y. Ding, 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 ding. Michael got it. I did do a laser, I did do a crosshatch, and the scan angle was changed, but Michael got it. The reason that I got different results from that is because on the ones, your dot size is not circular. Your dot size is not a square. Your dot size is, I call it ovaloid. It's kind of oval shaped, rectangular oval. And when you change your scan angle, you change your spot size. And let's look here what I'm talking about. If you have this ovaloid or elliptical shaped spot size, when that thing moves straight up and down, see how wide that is? Then when it moves on the X, it's a whole lot narrower. Well, if you move it on a 45, it's a different size. So changing your scan angle can change your spot size. So that's something to think about whenever you're doing stuff like what I did. And when I seen that result, I was like, okay, well, how can I fix that? And because I'm lazy, what's the simplest way to do that? Now, what I did to do this was not simple. And I was doing it as I went, and I wasn't thinking far enough down the path. I'm going to put this in line mode. And I would grab that one and come over here and look. Come on. There we go. So I've got a scan angle of 43 degrees. So in order to determine that, I came in here. The heart was already rotated. So I was like, okay, let's figure out what that angle is from that line, from that point to that point. And then I went in here and got my measuring tool, and I got here. And so that was about 137 negative degrees. So it's a difference of about 43 degrees to being 180. So that's how I got my scan angle. And then I went in and changed my line intervals and did a crosshatch so that when that was engraved, it created that. But because the scan angle now is moving at that 43 degrees, which is almost, it's going to have a different spot size than the one that's moving at that 0 degree scan angle, resulting in a different outcome. And that's going to be the same whether you're doing this marking with this ink stuff or if you're just doing engraving. So if you won't, well, Larry, I'm glad you're here. But we're just now starting with the lessons tonight. But another way you can do this and not spend all that time figuring out the scan angles and all that stuff. Check this out. And I wished I would have thought about this when I was doing the design, but I say all the time, there's always another way. If I would have thought about it, I can come in here in my art library, grab that heart, shrink her down to size. Oh, let me do that. Grab it. We'll bring it up here. Make it a little bit smaller. And now what I can do, take that heart, and then I'm going to draw a straight line. Put it on the same layer. And I'll put it right over here. And then I'm going to do an array. And I'm going to do, turn off my random orientation. And I want to have an X spacing of 0.5 millimeter. And I'm just going to do a whole bunch of them. So that's going to be a line interval of a 0.5 or 0.5 millimeter line interval. And say, group those and say, okay. Now duplicate that and rotate it. And then grab the ones that are vertical and group those. Now I'm going to grab this point right here and put it right there on the point of that heart. Come on, grab it and pop it right there. There we go. And now duplicate my heart, Control D, duplicate it. Then select my grid, hold my shift and select one of those hearts and use cut shapes. And now hit the delete button and it delete all this out here around it and group all of this. And now I have a 0.5 millimeter line interval. I don't have to worry about my scan angles because now I'm going to take this and I'm going to come back over here to my array again. and I'm going to create a column there, and I'm going to increase my line spacing to there. We'll go to 2 rows, and now let's do columns. That. And now I'm going to turn on my random orientation. Now, this is my idea. Random orientation came from this screwy noggin. And thank you to Oz and the team at Lightburn for thinking it was worthy enough to implement it into the software. But now that I've created this array, I can turn on random orientation, and it flips them around in different directions and all kinds of different things. And if you don't like the way that one looks, you can change your orientation key right here, and it flips them around in different orientations. And say, I like that one. Say, okay, done. Well, now I have created those. They have a perfect positioned grid and all those hearts. And I've got them on one layer. And I can use just a regular 90-degree, or if I want it to be a fatter, I can do do a 90-degree scan, and they're going to be uniform. The lines, every one of the lines are going to be exactly the same. The hearts will turn out exactly the same. So there's always another way. All right. Yeah, send him a cardboard cookie. Absolutely. All right. All right. Now, got that out of the way. Now let's talk about what I teased you about. Making those names and putting different designs in there. Now, I've already created the name Cora. Now, the problem, and I don't know if I mentioned it in the description or not. I know I mentioned it in the video, Friday's video. These are not going to be designs that I'm going to be posting on hobowithwood.com for you to purchase and download, because they're really, really personal names. And then this is Cora spelled with a K. What are the chances that you're going to have a Cora spelled with a K that you can use this in that likes butterflies? But I'm going to show you, as usual, or most, how to do these and how easy it is to make your own, and the roadblocks and the stumbling blocks and the speed bumps to avoid. And I'm going to get tripped up in this because I do. They're simple, but there are some tricks that you can do, and the ways you need to approach it to make it look as nice as possible. So let's see here. Where is So if for those who haven't seen it and didn't pay any attention to the thumbnail, I just want to pull this up and I can pull it up in Lightburn and show you too. Oop, where'd it go? Where did it go? Oh, there it is. There we go. And so this one, the mother asked for. These are going to be going on the door. She doesn't want to have them suspended by ropes. She's going to use the sticky hook and loop that she can just put on the door and not have to, damage the paint or put any nails or screws. So no hangers, nothing like that. And she asked for specific colors, and the daughter loves butterflies. I'm like, okay, so here we go. So this is the finished product that I designed for that. And it turned out really, really nice. I've already sent that to the mother, and she's already gave me a thumbs up on it. Says, yeah, love it. But she also had another one, and well, actually 2 more. The third one's going to be tough because she's wanting multiple colors. And I think the easiest way to do it is going to be to use my paint pens instead of to try and use a whole bunch of different layers. So I'll use some paint pens to do the dino theme. So let me pull up. Let me go away from there and go. Let's see. Do I need to? I don't need to do that. Let's see. Go back there and come here and here. and I starred her email so I could find it easily. So starred. All right, Sarah. Okay, so I got Cora, and now she needs. Nope, that was that one. I'll get that. Go away. Go away. Mm-mm-mm. All right. So Emma. The name Emma with teal and an outline and the background a dark gray. And then Logan. And one's going to be dinosaurs, and the other one is going to be sea life. Oh boy, this is going to be fun. So she went online to Etsy, and she found some images of some stuff that she liked and sent me photographs. And this is what she sent me here. I've got, this is what I'm going to do for Emma. So it's got random sea life. We got jellyfish, octopus, killer whales, sea turtles, a bunch of coral at the bottom. Now that's going to be kind of cool and kind of neat and easy to do. And we'll throw some dolphins and some whales and seahorse. So this one's got a lot going on. We're going to do that. This is what we're going to create tonight, but it's going to say Emma. And then she needs to have one that's like this. And this one is the one that's going to be, if I had one of the printer laser cutters, that wouldn't be too terrible to do. I don't have that. But I believe I'm going to be able to get the dinosaurs and then use the lines to engrave to demarc, indicate where the different colors can be. And I can just use the pens and go back in and paint it. Don't type any passwords. Your screen is being reflected on the flag case behind you. Oh yeah, man, I ain't worried about that. I'm not typing any passwords, and if anybody can make anything out of that, that's and that's and thank you, Bob, for even bringing that up. What I want to ask you guys, what I want to ask the Hobo Nation, and we're getting ready to start designing Emma with sea life. So before we jump into that, what I have here is another flag case, and I've got another local vet that passed away, and I'm made a plaque name plate for the family. And if you guys aren't aware, this is free. This design and all the artwork is free on the website. HoboWithWood.com already has this on there. It's a nameplate or flag nameplate. I've got the artwork for all 5 of the branches of the military. This all set up. So all you got to do is just lay your information in there. And it's free. I'm giving it to you for free because I want you to make them and give them away for free. Okay? It's the least you can do. I'm giving you the artwork for free. I'm not selling the information. I'm not, it's because that's copyrighted. It ain't mine to sell. And I'm not selling it. I give it away. And I give it to all of the local fallen vets. I'm doing a step further on this one. I went and bought them a flag case and making this to be mounted up top like that once it's all said and done. And the special request I got from you tonight is, instead of sending Hobo any funds tonight, this one was a tragic. They're all tragic. Any loss is tragic. But this was just January 22nd. It was just 2 days ago. And I've told you guys how horrible I was treated at the hospital. And they left me laying there, and my whole backside was just covered in bed sores. I had to have surgery to have debridement to get all the dead skin off of my backside where they just laid me laying. We do not have the best of anything in this county as far as I'm concerned. That's why I'm trying to get out of here. But this fellow was in and out of the hospital 3 or 4 times in December. And he was developing issues with his feet, and they wouldn't test it, wasn't treating it, because that wasn't why he was there, but there was problems going on. But the exact same thing happened to my great grandmother. She was having some heart issues, and she wasn't having the proper blood flow. And she ended up getting infections and sepsis, and eventually led to gangrene in my grandmother, my great grandmother. And that's what killed her. The infections are what killed her. They never treated her for it, never diagnosed any of that. They kept treating the symptoms with the heart, but they didn't do anything. Well, they kind of did the same thing for this fella. And I don't know all of the whole story, but I know he was in and out of the hospital 3 or 4 times in the month of December. Family spending money on health care and wasn't getting the proper care. And he ended up passing away after about a month of back and forth in the hospital. Well, the family spent a whole lot of the money, most of the money they had in health care and prevention. And so I am going to share with you this fundraiser, and they're not asking for a whole lot, not asking for a whole lot at all. They're not looking to do anything grand or grandiose. In fact, $680 have been raised of $3,500. They're 20% of the way there, and they need the money by, I think, when did she say? By the 28th. And they need $5,000 between now and the 28th. Now, I ain't asking any one of you to do anything crazy, but if you were going to send me $5 or $10 or $20 tonight, or I would prefer, and I'm going to put a link to this, and this coming from me, this this is a legit thing, and they're not asking for crazy monies. They're not looking to get a $20,000 casket and stuff like that. They're looking for they need the basic needs met. Copy, and I'm going to paste this. Oh my goodness! All right. So there is a link to that GoFundMe page. If the Hobo Nation, this is what I'm doing, is the flag and the flag case, because I can't afford to do much else. If you'll do a little bit and bless this family, I promise you, God will bless you too. I contacted her immediately and told her I wanted to do this for her. And that was, I think, Friday night, I think I told her, or it might have been Thursday night. I took Dad to dinner last night, Friday night. And before we got up to leave, the waitress come and got my check and took it up to the counter and then brought it back and marked paid. And I said, "Who paid for my meal?" And she said, "Man walking out the door." I don't know who he was. I have no idea who he was. But I did what I could to try and help this family out. And God turned around and blessed me and bought my dinner from some random stranger. So I promise you, if you do well and do good by others, God sees it and he'll bless you. So if any of you guys can do anything to help, just $5, $10, $20, if you were going to give it to me tonight, don't give it to me. Use that GoFundMe page and let's try and help this family get what they need done. Can you please put the link in the video so it is easier to find? I did put it in the chat, and you should, I think you guys should be able to click on that, I think. But I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to share it. I'm going to share it with on the Hobo with Wood Facebook group. That's going against what I ask you guys not to do, but this is a special case. Let's see here. There, and let's go to her site, and then I'm going to share this on the Hobo with Wood Facebook group, and post. All right. Yeah, I think that's going to be easier. And so if you go to the Facebook, and you can do this anonymously. You don't need to put anything in there. You don't need to put anything down there. Yeah, pay it forward. Chris says, "Your site, your rules." But this is a special, like I said, he's a vet. He served our country, and our vets deserve better than what he got in his last days. And the military, even though he's a vet, the military is going to cover the cost of opening the grave, closing the grave, and they'll do, they'll have the honor guard there and do a flag and present a flag to the family. But I think their total coverage of expenses is, a few $100s. It ain't much. So anyway, that's what I ask you guys to do, and I would appreciate it if anybody was going to do anything tonight, do it on that GoFundMe, and it's on the Facebook group, the Hobo with Wood Facebook group. All right, now back to design work. So that's what I said earlier about I don't want money from anybody. I don't want any. I'm not looking to collect anything from anybody until April 1st, April Fool's Day. All right, back to Lightburn. All right, so now I'm going to get rid of all this. And to clarify, make sure I'm looking right. She said Emma. Is that right? That's the, no, don't want that one. Inbox, starred. And yes, Emma and Sea Life. All right, now this, how do I want to say this? I want to, I tell you guys often, start with what you know. All right. What do you know? Well, I want this total piece to be 18 inches wide because I'm going to make it out of my 12 by 19 MDF, the pre-finished MDF from Craft Closet. And so if I know that that's my final design piece, there's something you need to be aware of. And these are some of the things I want to show you in this design process that can make or break your design. You do not want to start with, if your final piece is going to be 18 inches or 18 and a half, whatever, you don't want to start there and work your way in. Because if you do, it's going to be completely distorted and look terrible. And here's what I mean. The name is Emma. Is that, and I had to make sure I want to make sure I got it spelled right. I don't want to spend a whole time doing this and find out that I had it spelled wrong. So let me go here. Yeah, EMMA. All right. So EMMA. And I'm going to put this in Arial block. Arial black rather. And let's do all caps. And if I tell this, I know that I want the final size to be 18 and a half inches wide. So if I tell it 18 and a half, and that's where I'm starting. All right, first, I need to bring everything together and weld them up. And what I'm getting ready to show you right now is what you don't want to do. But I feel like if I don't tell you, or if I don't show you why you don't want to do it this way, you're like, and you go do it. I want you to see the difference, why it matters. Well, God bless you, Jesse. So why it matters. So if I want to bring these together, I can change my horizontal spacing and squeeze the letters together till they're touching like that. But that doesn't look right. That's terrible. So if I say, okay, let's do an offset inward of a 1/4 inch and say, okay. Oh, I didn't mean to delete that. Let's Control Z and offset and don't delete. Say, okay. Well, now you're starting to see the problem. Now I did rounded there. So if I do undo and I do offsets with a corner and say, okay. Well, now see you got these, they're broken up. it doesn't work. So when you're doing this type of design, you need to be able to think backwards. You need to, if you want the overall size to be 18.5 inches wide, and you're going to do 1/4 inch offset, then you're going to make your letters 18 1/4, and then do an outward offset. Don't do the inward offset. So if I take that back, and now if I say, and when I start squeezing things together, it's also going to change. But let's just go ahead and put this at 18 1/4, and then do an outward offset of 1/4 inch, and say okay. Now you can see it's already joined my A and my M, and I can move these together and weld them up, and same thing here. But everything stayed square. Everything looks good. Yeah, and you're right. But I'm showing people that it's going to change as you're working with your design, and that's why you got to pay attention to do uh, to what's going on. But now I need to, if these welded up, I need to weld these up. And right now, the word Emma is still a text. It's still a font. The offset is a line or a path. So I need to, if I can't select that, if I ungroup it all, ungroup everything. If I select this offset and that M, it selects all of the letters because they're all one font. So you gotta convert that to a path. Convert it to a path, and now you can select just that single M and just that offset. And I've got my control arrow set at 1 millimeter, so I can just start moving that over until they overlap. And look at it. Do you want to put them like that? I don't know. I have to look at that. Or I think leaving a little more space between them is better. But we'll see. Then I can select just that one and arrow it over until it begins its overlap. And I'm looking to see if that, I think I'm liking the spacing on that. And now if we look, and I'm not welding it together yet. If I look at that, and to what Chris was saying, now I'm down to 18 1/4. So I got to make it even bigger again. So, but the idea is, you know what your finished size needs to be, but you're not going to start there and work down, because the offset tools will screw up the way the letters work. So you start small, create the design you want, and then make it bigger. So now if I'm going to go with this, I need to select both of those and weld those together, and both of those and weld those together. And that little piece right there, if I ungroup it, oh, I forgot something. So I told you I'm going to mess up. I'm on Control Z. This Emma this one's going to be a little bit more of a challenge. Actually, I think I know what I'll do. Weld that back together. I'm going to ungroup that, get rid of that. Come on. And now I'm going to get rid of that. And now select E, M, M, and the A. Group all that together. Let's grab this piece right here, and I'm going to say Control D, duplicate it, and I'm going to move it over here to the side. That's the backboard. And now take this and do offset outward. No, that's only going to bring those two pieces back. This one is not going to be as fun. It's going to be more challenging to create a nice piece with the two double M's beside each other. Most, but not all Lightbulb functions treat fonts as vectors. Could you measure the distance between the second M and the A and match it with the other? Yes, I could have gotten that very, very specific, but I was just eyeballing it to do exactly that. And in keywords, let's cut it out, and there, yep. But I don't like how these two capital M's, I don't like how that all bleeds together into one big block. So I'm wondering about doing two lowercase, but then the two lowercase are still going to be this sort of the same thing. I didn't even, and like trying to do this live, I had not put any pre-thought into Emma. Cora was easier. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do Cora again, because this one I'm going to do some thinking about how to really make this one look good. And I don't want to drag this on forever and ever tonight in a stream. So delete that, come back over here, and we'll do Cora. Those were already starting to touch. So let's convert this to a path. I'm going to select all three of those. Actually, you know what? I got to group the O, group the R. Oh, those were touching. You see that? Those were already touching. So that's one piece. So you got to watch for that. So what I got to do here is create some additional horizontal spacing to get the individual letters before I even convert it to the path. So Control Z. All right. So put that back in the middle. Horizontal space is increased. There we go. Got those separated. Right click, convert to a path, then group those individual pieces to make the letters. Group O. There we go. Now I can select these three and tell them to dock to the left. And that pushes them all over. And that looks good. And the overall length is well below my 18.25, 18 and a half. So let's group it all. Do an outward offset. See how it looks so much better than that Emma did? Doing a 1/4 inch offset. Oh, you know what? And I forgot this on Emma, but we'll get there on here. So here, say, okay, there is my Cora. I want to get, see. And then I got to come back to this one. I need to ungroup it and come to there, just that one, and do another outward offset of 1/4 inch. And there's my backboard. So there's my backboard that everything's going to be glued to. I'm going to get rid of that, I think. That needs to be there. I can leave that. Control Z, leave it there. That's good. All right. Now, the next major roadblock when people want to start welding images into their outline is how many pieces, how many layers are there, or how many shapes are there in that name Cora there? You've got this line, the outermost line. That's one. And then you got the K here. Well, some of these are touching and they're grouped. You can ungroup them. But if we group all this together and we put it in fill mode and Alt-Shift-W, there you go. Now you can see that's one solid piece. And if it was going to be on that color blue, and then all of this was going to be on that color blue, then when you put them in place on top of one another, you can see how that's going to look. But this is not one piece of material, or it is one piece of material, but it's not one shape. Can you do it vertically instead of horizontal? Yeah, you can. To what end? Why? But yeah, you could. As far as just a different design, are you asking me to do that in this demonstration? Cut the letters out with just an offset for outlines and paste it on the backboard. Yeah, essentially that's what we're doing here. But the problem is when you start to go to add the different, like I did the butterflies and stuff like that. That's where people struggle. People struggle with getting the result they want when they're trying to add the artwork to these offsets. So I did Cora, did a 1/4 inch offset of it, and then selected the outermost piece and did a 1/4 inch offset of that. And that kept all the letters in the correct shape and gave me the outermost piece as my backboard. And now I've got a 1/4 inch offset of all the letters, creating that letter frame. Emma, you know what? I have to ask her about that, because you're absolutely right, Bob. Emma would look better vertically. See, this is what I like about this type of designing. And this is what I told the mother. I said, there's going to be a lot of feedback going back and forth, and these things will morph half a dozen times in the design process. Emma will look better vertical. So I will design that one vertical and then see what mom has to say about it. And then and to think about that now, if we're doing Emma vertical and she won't see life, the A at the bottom will have the coral and stuff at the bottom. And then the M, as you come up, might have the whales and some of the larger sea life. Then come on up and you might have some of the bigger tuna or something like that. And then you'll get your dolphins, and then so the sea life will get smaller as it goes up, showing the depth of the ocean. We'll see what she thinks about that. But I want to show you how you get around these roadblocks and how you need to perceive what you're looking at to get the results that you want, because it don't always do what you want it to do when you do what you do. So we're gonna help you understand what's going on. So back over here. So this Cora, and I would go back and undo this and get rid of that little bit of it right there, but I ain't gonna worry about it right now. We're gonna move forward. So my art library, I've got my butterflies. There we go, butterflies. So now if I want this butterfly, and I want to put it in the K over here. You're already starting to see a little bit of problem as far as, that butterfly is behind that K. Now I can change that by changing my priority over here on my layers and bring that forward. And now you can see it up on top there. And if I wanted that to be cut out like that on that letter K, all right, there's a lot of different things that you have to think about. It's like, okay, I want to cut these holes out. I want those to go away. And then I want this, if I take that and put it on that same blue layer like that, where these are dark, I want those actually cut out. And then as it transitions over here, it inverts. These are cut out, and that's the outer perimeter. So now if I just take these, let's see, I'll go back to line mode. If these are grouped, and they are grouped right now, that's grouped together. And if I hold shift and select my butterfly, and let's put it back in fill mode so you can see it, I've got both of those selected. And if I go to the Boolean assistant and you start looking at the different options, see, that welds it together, but now I've lost the detail that goes over here on the side. I want those holes. I want the rest of that butterfly wing cut out. So that's not what I want. Try that. That's not what I want. That's, well, there's what I want cut out, but the rest of my butterfly is gone. And that's not what I want. So your Boolean tools don't work with it grouped. And this is where a lot of people it doesn't click for them. Those two offsets of the name Cora, we actually have the original Cora and then the 1/4 inch offset. The letter K, that's one line. That's one solid shape. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on a different layer so you can see it. You don't have to try and visualize it. You can see it. So if I put that on, we'll put it on that layer. And there we go. And let's put, and I know you can't see it right now because I'm not wanting you to see it. I'll put that here and turn that off. Where are you at? There. Okay. Wow. So now you can see that letter K is one solid piece. And then this out here, that lighter blue, that's a solid piece. But when I put the two of them on the same layer, it looks like, and if you, didn't mean to do that, Control Z. If you weld those back together, or not weld them, but if you group them, then that is one solid piece. And if we go to preview, you can see that's one piece. That's what's going to cut out. But when you're thinking about how you're going to weld these together, you have to think about them as separate pieces. You have to think of that inner K as a solid piece. And then you have to think about, and let's duplicate that. Let's go back here. Control D, duplicate it, bring this down here. Bring them up so we can get them on the preview screen. Well, then we'll do that. There we go. And then take that off there. There. And now let's preview all of that. So now you can see by removing that inner layer in there that is one solid piece. So that outer perimeter of that offset, Lightburn will treat that as a solid piece. And then the inner offset it will treat it as a single solid piece. But when you group them together and they're on the same layer, then that's when you get just that little 1/4 inch outline that's going to be cut out, and that's what you want. But when you're going to weld your pieces, your artwork to those, you have to think of those separately. In order for me to get that part of the butterfly wing cut out of the outer piece, I have to subtract the butterfly from just the outer piece, not the group. And let's see here. And I messed up my butterfly because I was dragging stuff around. So let's turn this off. There we go. Get rid of that and bring my butterfly back in. So I'm looking to get the butterfly positioned where I want it to be, so it's going to look good on the image, on the piece, and also it's got a good contact point on at least 3 opposing sides. So let's put that on the same layer, and then what I'm going to do is take these, ungroup them. They are ungrouped. No, now they're ungrouped. And now if I take my butterfly, I'm going to duplicate my butterfly right now. Control D, duplicate it. And then I'm going to select the outermost piece. And I'm going to put it on line mode so you can see it. So I'm selecting the outermost piece, holding shift and selecting my butterfly. I hope the butterfly is grouped. And then use the Boolean tools to subtract. Then I need to take this inner piece, the K, hold my shift and select the butterfly again. Did I get it? I don't think I had my butterfly grouped. I don't think it worked. And subtract. Nope, didn't work. Control Z. Come on, baby. Okay, they're all grouped. That's one piece. All right. Control D, duplicate the butterfly. Take the outer piece, A, subtract the butterfly. Am I getting the butterfly? Because it's duplicated, I can't see. Yeah, I've got an option now. So subtract. And if I take that piece, put it on a toolpath, turn the toolpath off. Nope. And see, and here I am telling you guys, and hello, Sarah. I love the idea of it being vertical. Yeah, I like that too. Thank you, Bob. Here, I'm telling you, I was trying to subtract it. I don't want to subtract that. I want that outer part of the wing on that. I've actually got to do that with those grouped in order to get that only left there. So I got to go back and turn that back on, put that back on that toolpath, group those. Now, by grouping them, Lightburn is recognizing that as a solid piece. So now that that is a solid piece, I can say A, not caps, hold my shift button, subtract, and select the butterfly, one of the butterflies. Come on. Come on, you devil. It is not letting me select that butterfly. My computer is dragging. Okay, butterfly is grouped. The outer pieces are grouped. There we go. The butterfly is duplicated. Then I'm going to put that duplication on another layer. We'll put it on 25 and then turn it off. So it's there, but it's on another layer. So now that, subtract the butterfly. It is not letting me, there it is. Subtract that. There you go. Now I've got that cut out. Is that? I'm having a brain fart. I just did this yesterday. And this is what I'm talking about. And I'm gonna close a bunch of these windows because my browser is just dying here. Everything's dragging. I got too much open. And here. So there's what I'm trying to accomplish. I want to have those because that would have been cut off, and I want those to be cut out whenever ever it cuts out. That same thing down here. Oh, told you. All right, you have to ungroup the butterfly because you do not want to cut out that outer perimeter. You only want the inner part of that butterfly. See, these designs look really simple, but you have to put a lot of thought into how to accomplish this. So let's go back here again. Control Z. There we go. Now I'm cooking with Crisco, and I'm going to make this butterfly a little bit bigger so you can really start to see the difference. And let's turn this one back on so I can select them both and enlarge them both at the same time. And we'll go with that. And then I'm going to turn this one back off. Now I got to select this butterfly and ungroup it. And then I'm going to take that outer perimeter and I'm going to delete it. Now I'm going to group all this back together. And with those two pieces grouped, that's one piece. That's A, subtract B. Now all I've got there are the cutouts of the butterfly. And if I turn this back on, now you can see they overlap. Let's put that one back on. Let's select just that layer, put it back on layer 6. And so now I need to select this piece and hold shift and select that piece and weld them together. Nope. Control Z. Go back to your Boolean assistant. There you go. Union. And say okay. So now you've got the butterfly that's going to come over here and have its wings cut out around there. And it's not, and I wanted it to do that. I wanted to overlap that offset instead of it being all hemmed in and framed perfectly by the offset. I think it adds more character that way. Can you not just ungroup the butterfly group, everything inside the butterfly group, and just weld it to the letter K? Can you not just ungroup the butterfly group group everything inside. So I understand what you're saying, but I don't know what the outcome would be. So let's go look. Because what do we say? There's always another way. So let's switch. And I'm going to put this on a darker. I can get rid of that. I'm going to put this on I'll put it on a black layer so it shows up a little bit better. All right. So the question is, if we ungroup all of it, deselect the outer layer, then group all, let's see, is that, I didn't go back far enough. Let's go back further because I want to get to there. Nope. There. All right. Turn that off. Nope, those are still there. I didn't go back far enough yet. There. All right. So the question he had was, if we select the entire butterfly, deselect the outer piece, group all of that back together. So group everything inside the butterfly and just weld the outside to the K, to the letter K. So if we select the K, well, ungroup that and then select that. And see, because you don't have those grouped, it's two items, and you're only going to be able to do the Boolean with two items. So if we did that and welded those together, so that gives you a funky cut there. You don't want that. And if you were to select the inner piece and cut it out of that, subtract it, that doesn't really work. This is tricky. Just the outside of the butterfly and the letter K. I'm willing to try. So just the outside of the butterfly and the letter K, not the outer offset, and you weld those together. So that's what I did the first time. You get that funky piece there. If you Control Z and we look at the Boolean assistant for any other possibility, union don't work. Intersection don't really work. Subtraction, now that worked. That'll work. If you're doing it just on the K and then you do that subtraction, say okay. No, it didn't work either. I didn't zoom out far enough to see it. That one, that worked. Okay. Yeah. The trick is recognizing, are you working with that ungrouped, and I was able to select just the letter K, or if it's grouped, and then it gets to be a brain tweezer or twister. I don't think the scissors would be of any assistance. You could get there, but using the Boolean tools is a whole lot cleaner and a whole lot faster. You just having to understand which items need to be grouped and which ones need to be separate to accomplish what you want. Because that worked because I had ungrouped the butterfly and only selected the outer perimeter of the butterfly. That's the only reason that worked. But that worked, and it worked well. So let's move forward with another one and see how quick we can get through this. So there's Cora, and let's grab another butterfly. We'll use this one and shrink it down a little bit and bring it over here. Yeah, think I'm digging that. Let's see. I want to put it, yeah, up here. I'm looking for a little overlap there, and I got 3 there. All right, so now with that grouped right now, those are ungrouped. So I can get just that. But here, now see, here's where it can be a little bit problematic. That letter K was one block, one line to create the letter K. In order to create this letter A, there are 2 lines that are needed to create letter A, so they must be grouped to accomplish the same technique we just did. So we got to come back in here and select these 2 and group those in order to create the letter A. Then come back up here to the, so the butterfly is ungrouped. So I'm going to select everything on the butterfly using the control button and click on the outer perimeter. Is that what we did? Or no, we did the A and just the outer perimeter. There we go. And then go to your Boolean Tools, the assistant, and I think it was this one. Nope, was it? Depends on the order. There you go. And that works. That works. Say okay. And now that's welded into place. And let's grab that one. And we'll put it on the down here at the base of the R. So the R is going to be the same way as the letter A. It's going to have to be 2 lines grouped together to form that letter R. And I want to keep as much of the curve of this butterfly as possible. So I'm going to bring it down. It's going to be a little bit smaller. About like that. That is where I could get to node editing versus digging through all the Boolean tools. Yeah, but Jack, once you really, like here, this actually is pretty slick. And once you start getting in the groove of this, man, now they're going to go like that. You're going to go fast. And now if I was going to sit down here and do Emma tonight and do, and then if I was going to do Emma and Cora and do all 3 of them, the more you do it, the repetition you're going to go really quick with it. Sometimes I have to try a dozen ways before I get what you're after. Yeah. And when people don't get what they want and they can't understand why it's not working, it's because they don't realize that some of those pieces need to be ungrouped or grouped. They don't realize how Lightburn is recognizing either if it's ungrouped, it's recognizing that one, K. But if it was grouped, it's recognizing the offset of the K. And that's where people get really lost and flustered. That's one of the most common things I have to explain over and over and over again. Are you doing with a group or is it ungrouped? Because it'll change the outcome. So, but now that we've got this figured out, and honestly, I think since we're not going to be touching this inner part of this R up here, I think we can probably just take this butterfly, ungroup it, select this R and that outer piece of the butterfly, and Boolean assistant. And there it is. Oh, where'd you go? That it? That it. That's it. And okay. But that looked really simple. But look here. Control Z. If this was welded or grouped together, and I hold shift and select that same outer piece and try that same subtract, I get a different result. That's the same Boolean tool, but because those were grouped together, it doesn't produce the same outcome. Now I'm wondering if I use the other subtract tool, will it be right? Nope. See, that don't work. That don't work. Does the intersection work? Nope. And does union work? Union would work. So you can get the right result with different tools depending on what's grouped with what. And say, okay. And then I had a couple silhouettes. And now because it's touching both sides of the O, I'm going to have to group that. And now that's a solid O. That's one solid piece. If I look at my preview, there you go. That's a solid piece. And I'm going to ungroup it. And if I grabbed you just that one, you preview it, so you got that big thing. And if you grab just that inner part of the O, it's going to give you that little bitty thing. It's when they're grouped together that Lightburn recognizes that as one solid shape. And now I want to remove that butterfly from there. So those grouped together, that's A subtract B. And now that's welded into place. Ah. Y'all are bad. Y'all are bad. And if y'all aren't paying attention to the comments, it says, Chris said, sometimes I have to try a dozen ways before I get what I'm after. And Chicago Bob says, yeah, that's true, Chris. I had that same problem with women. And Chris says, Bob, once a female is involved, the math becomes exponential. Yeah. All right. So that's the long and short of it is you have to be able to recognize what Lightburn is seeing. Are they seeing if you have just this line right here selected, Lightburn is only seeing that shape. But if you have both of those, then Lightburn is seeing the not grouped. I didn't need to group, but I did. But it doesn't matter. Lightburn's seeing the offset. It's not seeing and depending on what you have selected and what's grouped with what, you're either going to have to do your Boolean weld, your Boolean subtract. But I had not used the method, and was that Jer that yeah. I had not used the method that Jer, I guess is that right? Jerry suggested with ungrouping it and selecting just the outer piece. And that worked. And I'm going to use that on Emma. And I feel bad. It was Cora, Emma, and Logan. Cora, Emma, and Logan. I'll do that on Emma and Logan. So I see a few of you learned a couple of things. Terry's put up a 3, Andy's throwed up a 4. You know, it's trial and error. Don't be afraid that it doesn't work out. And when it doesn't work out, recognize that it might be just what you have selected. Is it grouped, ungrouped? And do you need to group it, or, to get the outcome you're after? So hopefully you guys found this somewhat informative tonight. It didn't go the way I wanted it because I wanted to design Emma with you guys. But I think just by you guys seeing the struggles that I was having with the way that was going to look, and also, if she's got a 9-panel door, I can set that up and do it long ways, 18.5 inches, and have Emma be unique to Cora and Logan's. So I think that'll look nice. And also by having that depth, and then using that to show the depth of the ocean. It's a shame I don't have any, and I could probably do it. Take the backboard, the very back where it's going to have the ocean color. If I was to use, I can do it with the right technique with spray paint. A darker blue that blended and faded into a lighter blue, so it showed that depth, dark ocean, and then the lighter blue as it went up. I think I might actually try that. Yeah, big, coral and all that at the bottom, big fish and then get smaller as you go up. I've learned so much from you. That's how I can pick some stuff up. And I love it, and unlike some folks that will jump up and scream and stomp and kick stuff all around the room if you try to undermine them or make them look stupid, what they don't realize is they don't need your help looking stupid. I ain't like that. I welcome it. I want the feedback. I want the criticism. I want the constructive. That's how, because I learned from you guys. I learned it isn't a mutual exchange, and I love it. Kira is always informative. Try taking the E out of offset. Try taking the E out of offset and see if you can work on it and bring it back in. Yeah, do a gradient, Bob, a gradient paint on that backboard of the sea level. I think that might look pretty cool. It's a shame, and you probably could buy some already done, but I can do it. I can figure it out. I don't quite follow you on that, Chris. Try taking the E out of the offset and see if you can work on it and then bring it back in. Sometimes when we joke, we accidentally find the solution. Yeah. All right. We're 2 hours in, ladies and germs. If you were able to do anything to help my local vet family out, God bless you. And it will be returned to you. It will be returned to you. Great stream. See you next one. Well, thank you, Bob, and thank you for your support. Thank you for your contributions and for being here and being part of the Hobo Nation. I think sometimes we're a small group, small community. I actually, you know what? I don't know. I don't know what small. We're 2 hours in, and we've been consistent with this same 60 plus people. We were up over 70 some for a little bit, but some people get bored, or they get, because they don't want to see my fumble and fluster, they just tune out. But we've been consistently right with 60 people all night tonight. For the 60 of you that are still here that are contributing to other streams, is that average? Is that low, or is that high? Is that what? I don't know. I haven't had time to participate in other streams. and it's not about quantity, it's about quality. And this is a really, really good group, really good group, able to contribute. And I like it. I like it. I like it a lot. And sometimes it conflicting lives. Oh yeah, when you have conflicting live streams, gotcha. Yep, yep. Well, I used to worry about that. I really did. But I was trying to worry about too much. I was trying to make too many people happy or placate too many people. And that was just too much stress. So that's why I just had to start simplifying things. All right, Jack's saying sleet started. I ain't even looked outside here to see what we got, but and that's about the time. I was showing that right before we went live, the forecast was showing that it was supposed to start snowing at about 10 o'clock and snow for 24 hours straight. So I'll be curious to see what happens. For the folks that are from this area, the way we usually can predict what we're going to have is we look to see what Andy's having. Andy's down in Atlanta, and whatever's happened in Atlanta, it jumps right on the interstate and comes right north into Gaston County, and we get dumped on whatever Atlanta's getting. And Andy said earlier that they weren't getting any ice or snow, so I wasn't anticipating much at all. And then the forecast showed snow for 24 hours straight. But since Atlanta didn't get it, I'll be surprised if we get anything. Lots of cold, lots of freezing rain and sleet, but hopefully it doesn't accumulate, and hopefully we don't have any accidents or power outages. And Kilroy. Yeah. That's a big mess. I pray that you don't have those problems. All right, boys and girls, thank you. Thank you all for your support. I will be going live, and I'm going to be doing it through a YouTube stream. I don't know how to make you guys aware of it. That's another issue I've got to overcome. I got to figure out how to make the members only function work, but I'll get there. I'll figure it out. I needed to get the website up, and I'll figure it out as I go. So Andy says they're getting nothing but ice tonight. Yeah. Well, hopefully we don't see a lot of that. Hopefully we don't. Good night, everybody. God bless you and thank you. And I said, if you have already contributed to the vet, thank you. If you haven't, pray about it. And if if Spirit lays on you that you need to go do that, like I said, just even $5 or $10, every little bit from people will help. I do believe that if we depend on each other and not the system's broke. Love thy brother, love thy neighbor, reach out, help, do what you can for those that can't. Don't, I'm not a bleeding heart. I don't think that the homeless should have a free place to live just because they're homeless. They need a hand up, not a hand out. So, and that's what I'm asking for right here is a hand up to help somebody that needs it right now. So good night, everybody.